happening, amigos? Welcome back to Amor Aventura.
So today is a super exciting day because today we get to show off and talk about one of our favorite parts of the bus, which is the kitchen.
We're going to give you a little tour, tell you all about the details, what we like, what we don't like.
I'm so excited.
Let's get to it. So first things first, we want to share a little bit about our kitchen layout. So our kitchen does take, I would say, 60% of our bus, and that was intentional. We love cooking, so we wanted to make sure we had the appliances that allow us to cook a lot and also the space. And to be honest, we wouldn't change a thing.
So we're going to start over here and work our way back, starting with above the fridge. Here we have our Berkey filtration system. We went with the, I believe it's called the Royal. It is 3.5 gallons. And we bought it refurbished, so it's helped us save a lot of money and helped stop this from going to waste. We absolutely love it. Behind our Berkey, we actually store all of our reusable bags, so we love it because it's very deep and there's a lot of room back there to keep those things. And these two cabinets were originally going to be our pantry, but they have since become other storage, and here we have our Ninja. And behind that we have some lids for our mason jars. And up here we do keep a little bit of food storage, mostly the bigger items that we don't necessarily want to keep with the other food. So all of our oats, peanut butters, mostly the bigger cans and stuff stay up there. So moving along to our fridge. You see a lot of different types of fridges in a lot of different types of buses, but this is the one that we went with. We went with a 4.5 cubic foot fridge. We didn't want anything too small that we'd have to run groceries all the time, and we definitely didn't want anything too big. So this is actually perfect for us. It is the fridge on the bottom, and on the top is the freezer section. And in here we keep our compost. So a little tip, if you're not already composting, you should. And if you are doing it, keep it in your freezer because it eliminates fruit flies and it doesn't have any smell, which is huge in a small space like this. And this is another thing that we bought refurbished. We bought it at a refurbished distribution center, so it has a couple dings in it, and that helped us save a lot of money and also help reduce a lot of waste. One more thing to add is we have our fridge connected to our solar, and since we've got it fired up, we have not had a single issue with running out of solar power or anything like that. It's been running perfectly for the last 5 months. I believe it is it's just a 110 volt fridge for reference. But yeah, we absolutely love it.
Moving along, this is probably one of my favorite corners of the kitchen. We have our Camp Chef Outdoor Deluxe combo of a stove and an oven. We definitely wanted an oven in the bus because we love baking, and this one has not disappointed. It does run on propane. It technically is meant to run out of the small propanes, but with the small just propane adjuster, you can modify it to fit the 5 gallon, which is like the one you use in grills. It allows us to go about 3 months with the same gallon before we have to change it, and considering how much we cook and bake, I would say that's a pretty good deal because it's just about, I believe, $15 to buy the tank. So it's a pretty good deal. It works really, really well. We cook a lot, and before the bus, we always had the 4-burner, but we really haven't felt much of a difference with the 2-burner. It gets all of our meals done, and it works great. So we absolutely love it. This was a Facebook marketplace, so a great place to look for just a discounted appliance. Like, we got ours brand new for half of the price. So that was a big win. Up here we have our spice rack and some oils and such. It's probably one of my favorite like wall decors or just areas of the bus. It's made out of recycled wood and just some sticks to add that like wood boho style that we're going for in the bus. And then underneath this, in this cabinet, we can find our box of recycling. So recycling is important for us. We try to live as low waste as possible. So this is kind of our designated area for that. And then behind that is where you would be able to find our propane tank. So we get full access to the tank so we can turn it on and off just for our peace of mind.
All right, so moving up here to our upper cabinet, we went with an open concept. We really like that. And originally, actually, when we built the bus, we had two cabinets that opened upwards right here and a smaller version of this down there. And we didn't really love it that much, so we just decided to take it out, reuse the materials to make a completely open design, and we love it a lot more. We just have some mugs, some Tupperwares, some glass Tupperwares, some plates, and our dry goods that we use when we go bulk shopping. That's where we keep them in the mason jars. And a little tip, because we do like our glassware, we buy these little rubber plasticky kind of sticky things, and we put them in between all of the plates, and it eliminates a lot of rattling, jiggling, and noise when we are on the road. So that is a must-have if you're going to have any glassware in your kitchen. And then moving down there, we just kind of have some more home items, not so much the kitchen, just some CDs and some miscellaneous stuff.
And moving on with my list of favorites, it has to be our deep sink. It's a farmhouse kind of sink, but it's actually a vintage laboratory sink. We knew we wanted a big sink because it's our only one in the bus. We wanted space to be able to do the dishes, because in previous apartments we always had very shallow, very small sinks, and it was a horrible experience. So this was a must-have for me and for us in the bus, and we were thrilled we were able to find it. We found it in a restore, which cost a third of the price than a normal one does, so that's a great tip if you're looking for a sink. We're very happy with it. With the space, we're able to sometimes separate the dishes and use the rest if we need to wash our face, our hands, our teeth in the morning, although we do try to make the dishes at night so that it's just a clean space. But it's absolutely one of my favorites. Our faucet is our DIY faucet that we made ourselves with just some PVC pipe that we then spray painted black, but I absolutely love it too because it is hooked up with our water system, which is a very basic water system, and it's just a marine foot pump, and it frees your hands, and it's actually one of the best things ever. Like, I think moving forward in any house, I would like a system like this because you don't get your hands dirty, you just get them under the water. So we have 2 6-gallons of fresh water down here and 1 6-gallon tank of gray water.
So moving along, we have our very big cabinet. Before I open it, just a little intro. We actually had a huge gap here, and it is a very large space, and we tried to go to Habitat for Humanity and all sorts of other resources to find a door, and it was just such a big space that we ended up building our own door out of scraps, and we absolutely love it. But going inside, we have our bigger section of our pantry where we keep all of our canned goods and pretty much everything else up here. We have our homemade kombucha right here. And down here we have some pans, some pots, a lot of other accessories and stuff, a lot of things to store stuff in. And we have more of this rubber down here because it also, like I said earlier, eliminates rattling, eliminates noise. So we just lined the bottom and we kind of put it in between our pans as well because it definitely helps reduce the noise, and it's kind of a major key if you're going to be driving.
And this is the last piece of our kitchen, and it is our kitchen drawer. We have a little bit of everything in here, from just silverware to tea, can openers, scissors, you know, a little bit of everything.
So something that we do get asked a lot is how we actually made our cabinets. Essentially, we base it off of the width of the cabinets that we had in our previous apartment that we were living in, and that's how we decided how wide to make them. But without getting into too much detail, we essentially just framed out a big box out of 2x4s and 2x2s, made sure it was structurally sound, and then on the front, we did the faces with some 1x3s and some 1x4s to give it a nice kind of cleaner look. And like I said, we built this door ourselves, we built these doors ourselves, and these two we thrifted from a Habitat for Humanity. One thing to keep in mind when doing your own, if you are doing it, is the depth. You don't want them to be too deep, because if they are, you tend to lose things back there, or you'll forget that you have them, and you kind of only see what's in the front. And another thing that we kind of want to ultimately change in ours, like we showed, we have the 2 levels down here, but maybe maximizing space and doing 3 or even 4 levels, because then you can get more things in a smaller area. So definitely 2 things to keep in mind.
For our countertops, we went with a butcher block option. We were able to find a damaged butcher block in Home Depot that was like 75% off, which was a great find. But it's super easy to take care of. You just file it a little bit when it gets dirty or gets a scratch on it, and we treat it with mineral oil. We did decide to keep it like raw. We didn't put a stain or a sealer on it, and we absolutely love it. You just want to take care of it every few weeks and it holds up. And that is all that we have for you guys today. We hope you liked this tour. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave us a comment if you have questions. We cannot wait to see you next Thursday to share more sustainable bus living.